the hell? Oh.
What?
Whoops, everything broke. I apologize, everybody. We are here live. We're alive. As soon as I clicked on to the actual main thing that we're doing, like on our OBS, for some reason Discord was like minimized, so all you saw was my wallpaper on the live stream.
Nice bit of avowed wallpaper there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I do have the avowed wallpaper. It's really cool because
you changed it from Rebecca Black, did you?
I don't know who that is.
What do you? She's that artist that sings that Friday song.
Oh,
Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
I've had her as my wallpaper since like 2007 or whatever the fuck she was big. So yeah, let's see. We got I gotta get my brain back on track. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gamer Social Club News and Games. I am your host, Nathan, aka One Hot Dragon. PlayStation Network is down. Make sure to go to gamersocialclub.ca to read the article on that. And I am joined by none other than the Horror for Horror, the Space Marine super fan, the F-Bomb Fraser. How are you doing, Fraser?
Are you having a brain aneurysm or something
Yes.
at the moment? I have no idea what's going on.
Yep.
I'm great. I'm really good. I have had a fantastic week of just playing heaps of fun games. I'm going through the process of like reorganizing my office. At the moment, I live in a very, very small apartment, and my wife she's fantastic. She has given me this room to do whatever I want. But I walked in here the other day. It's a fucking nightmare in here, dude. Like, there is no room for anything. There's not even room for me to be in here. So I'm going to spend the next kind of couple of weeks just kind of reorganizing some stuff. I'm getting a bunch of stuff together to sell. I bought some brackets for my desk so I could like put all my consoles on this bracket underneath my desk.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fucking sick. I can't wait. So I'm great. Happy to be here.
That's awesome.
Got my coffee. We got fucking Steve and Carrie in the chat.
Yeah, I just now pulled that up.
Having a lovely time. Steve, good to see you, my friend.
Hello, guys. Yeah, this is unfortunately not the time I get to fight Jeffrey yet. So
yeah, not yet. We're gonna do that soon, though.
Soon. It's gonna happen, I swear. Now, the only time you should give up hope is when I've deleted it from the Xbox. Steve said, "Ban me, Daddy." Oh man.
Oh, I love it. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Dude, yeah, I love the setup. Like, while we were sitting here getting ready, I was like, man, your whole setup and background, it's just all looking so fine. Yeah, even Carrie's pointing out your Far Cry 3 background. Actually, it's two.
It's two. Yep. There's a couple of achievements that I'm missing. So I am going to go through and try and hopefully pick those up this week.
I'll never...
unfortunately, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I say all the online stuff is like unavailable now. Far Cry 2 had this amazing online mode. And there's a few achievements locked behind unavailability of that now. So it's going to go through and pick up the extra ones I can.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do. Have you ever like sat down and actually looked up like what games are the most rare achievements or rare games to get all the achievements in because they've shut down networks?
Yeah. There's one achievement. A lot of them. Do you remember that Smart Glass app? The
Yes,
Xbox Smart
I
Glass?
do. Yeah.
So there's achievements locked behind that now. Stupid.
Really?
Stupid. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But there's one, Rainbow Six Vegas 2. You could, Xbox. Remember, Xbox had that before Connect. It had the camera as well, and so there was an achievement of taking a photo of yourself and making your like Rainbow Six guy you, and then yeah. So that I got that one. That's pretty.
That's
sick. We
awesome.
did that. Like, I did that at the time. It was fucking sick.
That's
Me and a
awesome.
group of dudes got together and we played Rainbow Six Vegas 2 so much.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's a good game.
Dude, I'll never forget. Well, I want to go down two different paths here, but Army of 240th Day was one of mine as far as like the achievements that I was able to get before everything got shut down. Because hey, that multiplayer was super underrated. I don't know if you ever got around to playing Army of 2 multiplayer. It was fun.
I didn't. Not the multiplayer.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. That's one game franchise I wish they bring back. Maybe that's the answer to all of EA's woes and troubles. But yeah, no, as far as Far Cry 2 goes, like Far Cry 2 has a section in my brain that's just like a core memory for me. I remember it was my first introduction to the franchise, and I go over to my cousin's house, and he's like, dude, you gotta check out this game. It just came out and it's amazing. And then he's standing there in front of this hut and he's like, watch this. And he pulls out a flamethrower and he sets the whole entire house on fire. And he's like, and it just stays on fire.
Like, it just burns and it spreads.
It burns and then things start catching. And I was like, that my mind exploded, and I'll never forget that. Like, I think about that moment every time I play a Far Cry game. That and the Far Cry 3 moment where the Skrillex music starts playing and you're setting the weed fields on fire. Oh my gosh, what a legendary moment. I was getting ready.
We should probably just say hello to Russell before we fucking carry
Yeah,
on.
no,
Hey, Russell!
We got sidetracked. And I am also joined by Russell, a.k.a. Casualties of Gaming, a.k.a. Russell. How you doing, buddy?
I'm alive.
How
much longer we'll see, but
it's been a while since we've seen you, so I wanted to treat you real nice and not do your whole intro there for you.
I think I've been on once so far this year.
Yeah. It honestly, this year's been a rough start for us because I feel like the first January we were just like having a hard time figuring out any dates to actually do things, and then we tried to do Fantasy Critic at one weekend, and then we couldn't get that done on the weekend. Then we had to push it back, and we've been trying to start a second show. We've been trying to do a lot of things, and it just has not been panning out for us. But I'm glad you're here tonight. I know some people were worried that maybe you were leaving, but you're not leaving. Russell's here. Russell loves you guys, Steve and Carrie.
He just doesn't care about Fantasy Critic, which, it's fine.
That's right.
By the way, I'm winning there at the moment. So
you
fuck
are.
You guys.
You are. I'm still waiting. I checked this morning for Huskies because Civ 7 should be dropping its scores, and he hasn't gotten his points yet. But yes, congratulations on Kingdom Come 2 score. That's pretty sick.
That's fine. Carrie just asked a question about my 360. So I have that plugged in, and when I play 360 games, I play them on that. But if I want to do any sort of recording, I move it from there over onto my desk and just plug it into my recording stuff. So yeah, it's always on. It's always there. Monique hates it, but that's fine. I love her. So.
How could she ever hate that? It's the coolest thing in existence.
Right? Yeah, she could win. So I used to have it jammed in the corner. And she's like, our house is when I bought it, she was like, you're not fucking buying that. And I was like, I am. I'm sorry, I'm buying it. And she's like, well, it's not out. You're putting it away until we have a bigger house. And I was like, yep, that's fine. Absolutely fine. And it sat in the corner for like a year. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get it out. She might not notice.
She might not notice.
I say that every day, and she hasn't noticed.
I live in a shoebox. And so I pulled it out and I set it all up and I'm all fucking chuffed. And she comes in and she walks in. She's like, "The fuck is that?" You said it would stay away. What is it? When is it going away? And I was like, "Oh, but it took me all day to get it out." She's like, "I don't care. When is it going away?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, I'll put it away." I had it out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks even. A little bit more maybe. But no, she put the hard word on me this weekend. She's like, she's got Monday off. So
Yeah.
it's going away on Monday.
Oh no.
Unfortunately.
Boo.
That makes me
It's
cry.
fine. What I'm gonna do is there's a little we've got this weird little cutout in the wall where all the kind of stuff is stored. I'm gonna try and put it in there and figure out a way that I can have it plugged in and usable while it being away. Wish me luck.
Yeah. Good luck, man. Yeah, post pictures in the general chat or whatever when you actually do get it set up.
Yeah.
Steve wants to know how Russell's been doing and what he's been up to. Steve, we don't ask questions like that here. We don't want to know. We don't ask questions that we don't want to know the answer to. What have you been up to, Russell? What's been going on with Russell this past January in 2025?
So apart from playing Kingdom Come Deliverance for the last 3 or 4 days or whatever, not a lot as far as the podcast goes. Obviously, what have I been up to? Oh, you want me to ban you, Steve? Is that maybe I can time him out for
Is that what's happening?
Maybe just ban me, I guess.
I'm kind of tempted to. I'm kind of tempted to time him out for a minute. Just to see
Ban
what
me.
happens.
See if I can.
No. So I obviously website shit. I've had 1 or 2 reviews come out this year, and then the preview for Karma: The Dark World, which I'm assuming at this point I'll get to cover the full game. I don't know yet, but I look forward to that.
Yeah, that's been cool, dude.
Yeah.
They've been loving you.
Apparently, yeah.
It's amazing.
So
What
that's
the fuck
pretty,
just happened?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The YouTube channel's been doing pretty well. I'm gonna be doing a video this weekend, probably about the tariff situation, since I cover retro gaming handhelds and stuff, and I don't know how many people involved in this have been watching the saga of the Miyu Mini Flip, but we have another issue with this. I need to talk about that Miyu. There is a resolution. I won't talk about it here because then there's no fucking reason to watch my video.
Yeah, right.
But yeah. So YouTube shit, playing games, working too much as usual, and same shit.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Side note, hi Archer. I got my buddy watching with his son. He just sent me a text. He can't get to the chat. So what's how have you been enjoying Kingdom Come 2 so far?
So I like it quite a bit. I don't know how much I should say. I mean, obviously we're not embargo or anything. I don't even know how much I should say about this. I know Dano was slated to review it. It may end up being me. It kind of depends on who finishes it first. My issue with games like this, as I was telling Frazier before we went live, is I have made very, very little progress in the main story. I'll try to keep this as vague as I possibly can, but after all the shit that goes on at the beginning of the game, your best friend kind of pisses you off, and then he wanders off sort of to do his own thing, and then I was kind of given a choice to either try to catch up with him or go find my dog that I lost. So obviously I picked the dog because
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that even an option?
So yeah, and then that leads to you'll go into a bar and talk to someone, and they'll send you on this and send you on that, and before you know it, it's been 13.5 hours and you've done this much of the main story. So Yeah, it's one of those games.
Perfect. I'm terrified to jump into it. Like I want to play it really badly. I never played the first one. This kind of wandering around doing aimless shit like really intrigues me. But also I've got so much going on that I just don't have time. I don't have time to
Yeah, and
What I will say is, a couple of things. If you did play the first one, the combat wasn't super refined in the first one. I only played like 10 or 15 hours of the first one. I didn't finish it. The combat's a bit more refined in this one, so don't be afraid of that.
yeah.
Also, if you're worried about the game saving, just do something. Like anything, any quest, like you don't need to finish it, just progress and the game will save. Also,
Okay.
there's the save and quit option where you don't need the potion to save too, so there's that. I've seen a lot of people complain about that, but
I've seen I saw on one of the socials just before they've already made back what it cost them to make it, which is incredible. It is
that
so incredible to hear.
yeah,
I love a success story. Oh,
absolutely.
I haven't looked up the hard numbers, but them selling 1 million copies in 24 hours, I would think at least speed wise, this one's selling faster than the first game.
yeah.
I don't quote me on that because I haven't looked up the numbers. I know the first one sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 million, but that was over the course of like several years and
Yeah.
discounts and.
Yeah.
I'm with Fraser on this one. I'm really interested in playing it. My issue is time as well. And I mean, Avowed is going to be out exactly a week from now. There's no way I'm finishing Kingdom Come within that time frame.
Yeah.
Does it have kind of
Avowed.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Avowed is officially put on the back burner. I don't know when the hell I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not any. I would say at the very least, not any time in the next month. I will literally, so like as far as the retro handhelds go, I'm knee deep in a ROM hack for Super Mario 3. So I'm literally just gonna be bouncing between this and Kingdom Come for probably the next month.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be tuning in to see how you go with Kingdom Come, because like I said, like these sort of games where you just kind of choose a direction and walk, I love it. I get so lost in them.
Yeah.
And
The one thing that Starfield was missing was the exploration, and this game has it fucking nailed down.
That's
fantastic.
amazing. It's kind of wild
so...
to hear you describe Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as more of an exploration game versus a game that's all about exploration, not doing exploration right.
So I don't want to give away too, in case I do end up having to review it, and I don't want to give away too much, but like so far, Warhorse is out Bethesdaing Bethesda.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
I never thought I'd say, but like, I guess for us like RPG buffs, we need to just start looking at studios like Warhorse and CD Projekt Red, and maybe leave things like BioWare and Bethesda. I mean, I haven't completely lost faith in Bethesda. I don't know about BioWare at this point. They've released a few duds in a row. I wouldn't even call Starfield a dud. I liked the game. The DLC, I got like an hour in and tapped out on that. But,
yeah.
I've been wanting to get back into Starfield. Like I started playing it and I got hooked on the outpost building like straight off the bat, and I didn't do anything else. I put like 50 hours into it, and I didn't even get the magic shit that you get. Like I didn't even get to that point in the game. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I've put 50 hours into this and I've got nowhere. I might shelve it for a bit.
That's where I'm at with it.
Starfield's a weird one. I have like 130 hours into it, so like I finished a bunch of side shit and the main quest. The replay value, like even like Fallout 4 I liked, but of all the Fallouts I've played, it is definitely writing wise the worst of the bunch, and that's coming from a guy that's actually played 2 and Tactics for the Well, no, okay, Tactics for the PS2 was the worst Fallout game in existence, and that's including Fallout Shelter, that mobile app thing. Um, Tactics for the console was just awful.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's literally a Diablo clone, but like the story is terrible and there's no variety of enemies and like there's grinding, but like it almost seems pointless. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, even with Fallout 4, which is not my favorite, I had to look at my Xbox account. I think I have like 14 days in that game, so like literally 400 hours or something. And Starfield, I beat the main quest, and I'm on New Game Plus, and like I got through a little bit of the story again, and I just like every time I fire it up, I screw around for like a half hour, and I just turn it off.
Yeah.
Move on to something else.
Like I just need to mainline that story and just kind of forget that there's other stuff to do and just do the quests.
I will say, and keep in mind, I never finished Skyrim, so there's that. But I finished Morrowind, I finished Fallout 3, I finished Fallout 4, I finished Oblivion. The Skyrim probably has the best main story of any Bethesda game I've ever played. But we don't play Bethesda games for the main campaign typically.
No.
So
no.
The side quests and the DLC, like my favorite part of Fallout 4 was the island DLC.
Was that Far Harbor?
Far Harbor.
Yeah.
If they had taken Far Harbor and turned that into a full-fledged game, that would have been better than Fallout 4, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Far Harbor felt like a real RPG, as where Fallout 4 kind of felt like a pseudo RPG.
Fallout 4, like there were so many things about Fallout 4 that I loved, and then, but then as like I said, as a complete package, it's almost too much. Storyline wasn't very good. The combat was fine. I ended up like playing it as a third person like shooter, a first person shooter, as opposed to like using VATS and all that kind of stuff, just to try and make it a little bit more enjoyable. I think Fallout New Vegas is the only Bethesda game, apart from Starfield, that I haven't platinumed. I love them.
Yeah. I don't think I've platinumed any of them. Yeah, even Skyrim. I was 2 achievements away from getting the last achievements in that game. So one quick question before we move on into the intro. When I watched the trailer for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I remember the first thing I thought was like, oh, this feels like Monty Python. Does it feel like playing a Monty Python game? Or did you ever watch the Monty Python movies?
I don't know. Yeah, I have. I don't know if I mean, there is a lot of humor in the game. More so than the first one. So yeah, I guess I didn't really think about that comparison. Yeah, I guess you could say that a little bit. Just the humor. The whole game's not like that. But,
okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, okay. A little bit, yeah.
I love that the more you kept thinking about it, the more you're like, yeah, this feels like Monty Python.
Yeah, the horse DLC is just like a guy with the
oh man,
with the coconuts, like
oh shoot. Okay, I'm trying to figure out if I'll get into more of what I've been playing, or if let's just get into the intro here. Let's see. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the Gamer Social Club. Here at the Gamer Social Club, at the Gamer Social Pub, we do some drinking of coffee, and it is a place where gamers from all around the world come and share their love for video games together in a positive environment. Our goal is to give gamers a platform to share their experiences, to add to the conversation in the games industry, to give more gamers a sense of community, and bring a little more happiness to your life. The Gamer Social Club started as a book club for gamers, and it is still going strong. Join us on our Discord channel in the description below. You can join us via a link as we cover three categories a month. First being a new game everyone is excited for. Second being a backlog game. And the third one being an indie spotlight coming in March. Our indie spotlight is to bring attention to games you probably haven't heard of before, or maybe you have heard of before, and we just want to bring a little more attention to them. You know what I mean? So we are going to talk today about, let's see, Forza coming to Xbox. We didn't get a chance to do the news episode this week. So we kind of got a mix of different things we're going to talk about today. Tonight we're just kicking it, we're just being real chill, because we're chill guys. So we've got Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PlayStation. We've got Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. That announced date's been revealed. And there's been some new info on Battlefield this week that I'd love to get into with you guys. And then the main topic for today was going to be, when do you decide to give up on a video game? How much have you determined that's enough of that? It's time to move on, which we've already kind of talked about with Starfield a little bit already. So, with that being said, let's get into the game of the month here in a second, because we already kind of did our catching up together, but I haven't really talked about what I've been playing, what I've been up to. In fact, so it's funny because I got like super into Black Myth Wukong as soon as during my Christmas break, and every time I bring it up, see, that's the thing, is like I keep talking about it, and I don't think I've actually like given it a moment to actually talk about my experience with it and like what I did and what it was like on the podcast. It's just funny because like we talk about how many guides I did and how much I've been playing it and stuff. So, but no, I won't go into all my January, of course. But yeah, no, I was going to play Dragon Age the Veilguard and then ended up playing Black Myth Wukong, and I put in about 55, 60 hours, and it was a blast. It was not anything like an Elden Ring game. I don't know if anybody here's read my review for it, but the... Sorry, Russell, get out of the chat.
Sorry, guys. Nathan was performing some unspeakable acts on people before the show, and he just got that taste stuck in his mouth, so he can't really talk.
Yeah, right?
It's true. It's true. I was eating a corn dog in ways you would not believe. If you don't believe me, here's the proof. So with Black Myth Wukong,
sorry guys, the comic relief is back on the show apparently.
So with Black Myth Wukong, I kind of went into it. I'm just like Steve's like, ew. No. I ended up getting.
I'm glad you missed it, Steve. Unfortunately, we had to watch it, and it was not pretty.
That will be on the Gamers Social Club OnlyFans. Release date pending.
Yeah.
Yep. Release date pending. We'll let you know. Pending. No, but with it, I kind of went into it with the mindset of like, man, people have hyped this up way too much. It cannot be this good, and I just kind of naturally loved it. I kind of expected it to be more on the side of a Dark Souls game, just because, you know, everybody is going to be like corn dogging. I'm gonna have to stop looking at the chat. That's hilarious. Oh man.
Stop. That's brilliant.
Just straight corn dog in it. The I expected it to be more of a Souls-like game, but instead I found myself having more of a Lies of P experience with it, where it's kind of got the structure to be a Souls-like. You know, it's got your save points, it's got your layout of a narrative-driven Souls game, and then the actual boss fights is way more. Like, there's over 100 bosses in the game. You deal with so much more than just a regular Dark Souls game as far as bosses go.
It's too many, man. There's too many bosses.
But, you know, see, here's the thing, is the majority of them aren't like this level of, oh, I'm stuck. This is horrible. I can't wait to be done with this boss fight. This boss fight has me wanting to pull my hair out. I would say out of those 100, I had 2 or 3 that made me want to pull my hair out. So it's like, it achieves that sense of, this is a boss fight. I feel really good about myself for overcoming this obstacle, but also at the same time not hindering you and making you feel like it's a slog, and not making you feel like, oh, I just want to be done with this, which I think is why I praise it so much and why I love it so much, is because I didn't feel like it was a slog and that it was so overly difficult. Because as much as I love Elden Ring games or Souls-like games, I've got to be in a very specific mood for it. Like, I got to be like, oh, I need to be prepared for punishment. And I feel like I could pick up Black Myth Wukong any time of the day, like, no matter what I'm doing. With all that being said, when I say there was like 2 or 3 boss fights that had me wanting to pull my hair out, there was one in specific that might be the hardest boss I've ever fought in a game. It's the secret boss, so he is optional. You don't even have to fight him. But the same thing goes for Lies of P. Like, there's a secret optional boss that you can fight, and it's optional as to whether or not you fight him, and he is the hardest boss to fight. I kid you not, I spent one day spending, like, I think I spent, it had to be 4-ish, if not more, hours that I fought this guy over and over again. And Megan woke up and my eyes were like bloodshot red. I texted a selfie of my eyes to my friend because I knew he had played through it. And I was like, I made it to so-and-so boss. And he's like, oh my gosh, get your ass back on the computer. I need you to stream this in the Discord so I can watch you play this. And typically,
I love it.
Typically, he's somebody who always gives me a hard time and like hounds me. He's like, "Oh, you're shit. Oh, get good, scrub, and all this stuff." But like, this is one of the few times he was like, "Listen, I'm here for you if you ever need me."
Just get through it.
You can get through this. He's like, I didn't think I was going to make it through. He was like my moral support through it all. So it was kind of funny. Other than that, I played through Ninja Gaiden 2. Everybody knows my experience with that. Did the whole review channel. If you want to hear about Ninja Gaiden 2, we got the review up on our YouTube channel. And then, Sniper Elite Resistance, also the review is on our YouTube channel if you haven't checked it out yet either. And then I still have not figured out what I want to play next, because I tried to pick up Indiana Jones at the beginning of this week and I just couldn't, which kind of what inspired the whole conversation for today. Again, we'll kind of come back to that, but I want to get into the games of the month that we've been playing. So that kind of goes hand in hand with what Fraser's been playing. So Fraser, do you want to take it from here as far as to what games we've been playing?
Yeah, so the game of the month this month, we've decided that we're going to try and get ourselves through some State of Decay 2. Now, I personally played this on launch back in, I think it was, does anyone remember when it launched? Was it 2018? No, it can't be that long ago. Can't be that long ago. Can you look it up?
No, I
let me
think that might be right.
pull up Steam.
Also,
So, yeah,
while
I
Russell's
played it.
looking that up, Steve, that makes me want to throw up.
Don't you put mayo on your hot dogs? 2017. Wow.
Gee,
Okay.
Mitty.
So I played State of Decay 2 on launch. It's a brilliant game. But I played it with a group of friends, and back then there was multiplayer but only the host made progression. So, that seems to be a thing at the moment where like you join as like a backup.
I fucking hate
And
that so much.
so much. So much. So we ended up like playing through each section 3 times, doing this 3 times, and we ended up just giving up and it got shelved. So I believe it was December someone mentioned State of Decay 2 and it kind of got me thinking. So we're doing that as Game of the Month for February as our backlog demolition. It's very fun. They have added a lot to it. There is a full-on story mode, which is co-op, which you can drop in and out of with characters. I haven't had a chance to start that yet. I kind of just picked up where I left off, and it's really cool. It's a really fun little game. I'm excited for State of Decay 3, if that ever comes or when that ever comes. Just adding more stuff to it. I love the kind of the scrounging. You got your vehicle, you got your mate, and you're going from building to building, like scrounging resources, and you can only carry so much. Things deteriorate, your weapons deteriorate. It's like permadeath. So if you get caught out and about, caught with your pants down, it's done. No matter how much time or effort you've put into that character, they're gone, and you have to start again. It's pretty ruthless.
I like that.
Yeah, there is like insane difficulties. I'm playing it on normal at the moment, and there's been some hairy bits. I think there's 4 difficulties above normal, and it's full on.
Are you able to like move it up and down whenever you want? Is it kind of like
No.
Diablo 4 in the way? Okay.
No. So
on PC you can.
well, so sorry, let me say you can do it. But what it does is it resets everything back to 0. So
I haven't fucked with it, so
you don't lose any of your gear or your like character progression, but you lose all your base. So everything that you've spent time like upgrading and developing and all that kind of stuff, if you change the difficulty, it like sets you almost back to day 0. So it kind of defeats the purpose of doing it, I guess. I don't know. Steve said you can, and yes, he's right, you can. But it's kind of like you can do it, but there's a disadvantage to it. Yeah, but no, it's.
I've only got like 6 hours on PC, but I have like 10 days on Xbox.
Yeah.
I know you can do it, but I've never really fucked with it too much. So if the reset, that sucks, but it is what it is, I guess.
So how much have you gotten into it so far this month?
I have been playing it a lot. I've done a complete playthrough. So you can like assign a leader to your kind of group, and each the leaders can have different traits. So there's like warlord, there's a sheriff, there's a trader, and that leader determines kind of what path your group follows. There's a bunch of missions and stuff set through that. So I've just completed the sheriff playthrough, and it's really brutal. So when you finish, it's like, oh yay, we've finished this area. As a group, let's move to a new map, which I thought is really cool. Yeah. So you kind of grab your group, you head to a new map. You can demote and exile the leader at the start of the new map, and it's so brutal. So of course I did that. I demoted my sheriff and I exiled him, and you kind of walk up to him and he's like, we need new leadership around here. You're done. It's ruthless. So I've now got a warlord leader, and he's just going around just slaying everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Steve pointed out that you can actually lose achievements and you lose legacy boon if you adjust the difficulty. Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, so Steve and I have been trying to I think when we jump off here, hopefully if he's still around, we are gonna try and do there's a horde mode as well, which you unlock things for the main campaign. There's the main campaign, and then like I said, there's this new kind of it's called Heartland, and it's a full-on story-driven campaign. So they've added so much to it.
Okay.
It's on Game Pass. The Super Juggernaut Edition. It's there for you to just play if you've got Game Pass.
That's amazing.
So yeah, jump into the Discord. We've got a channel set up. We're going to try and get some community game nights going and have a bit of fun with it.
And then the game that we're playing that we're all excited about, like the new release, that was Avowed. We all voted on Avowed, right?
It's going to be Avowed.
Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, if you're listening to this a week from now and Avowed's already out,
We love it.
and let's see, we've got let's go ahead. Yeah, I haven't played it myself. I played the first State of Decay, and then I just didn't much care for it. So then I never even attempted to get into the second one. But I like the fact that if you are not going to be able to have a world together with your friends, that there is the thing of, okay, well, now you and Steve can play Horde mode, and you guys can play the Heartland mode. So you actually have something to benefit your own story. So, because I think that's always a struggle, isn't it? Where if you want to play with your friend, it's like, okay, yeah, I love to play with you. I want to play with you just because I have fun playing a video game with you. That's kind of the main purpose we're here. But also, I think I'd rather play something else if I'm able to actually like progress in it or feel a little better about myself. And I think that's, the thing that made Call of Duty Zombies so cool was that no matter if you're playing with randoms or friends, you're always making this effort to progress something. And that's definitely going to be the way it is with Killing Floor 3 BT dubs. Also, before we go ahead and let's go ahead and get moving into the news. But before we get into the news, I want to give a shout out to the demo disc that we are doing.
Oh, yes.
So if you guys haven't heard of the demo disc yet, demo disc is it's Harry's idea. He's kind of the one heading it up here at the Gamer Social Club. And do you ever remember the magazines? You'd go to Walmart or you go to GameStop and, they'd have the magazine there and have a little demo discs in it. Well, that's what we're trying to capture. We're trying to give that feeling of, hey, here's an article and it's got a little demo disc in here for you. So I won't go through all of the games that are on here. I want you all to check it out. I will drop the link in the description below for it so you guys can check it out for yourself. But I know Fraser's been having a absolutely amazing time with the first Berserker Kazan. Yeah. You guys can access the demo that is available right now. If you want to check that out, I know Fraser drafted it onto his fantasy critic league because he really believes in it. The other one I wanted to point out, let's see, Harry sent me a couple he wanted to point out. Paper Clay and Astral Throne are a couple of ones that you all should definitely check out. I know Nights in Tight Spaces is actually the one Lady V she pulled into her fantasy critic, and that is it's available on Steam for you to download and get into the demo. And let's see a little bit about Astral Throne. It's a blend of strategy RPG with roguelike elements, changing your path and the characters' interactions. So yeah, there's lots of cool demos that you can be playing right now and checking out. I mean, of course, after the stream is over. then go check it out. Okay. Other cool things going on with the website right now is, speaking of Harry, he also did an interview with Y Kev. So go check out that interview he did. It's up on YouTube. It's up on the website. I can't really talk about it too much because I have yet to watch it, but Harry's been absolutely killing it with these interviews lately. And if you haven't had a chance to watch any of Harry's interviews with game developers on the YouTube channel yet, they're a good time. They're really great.
Yeah.
I highly recommend checking them out. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the news, guys. So first up on the discussion, do you guys want to talk about all of this stuff? I mean, it's Friday night. All of this stuff is practically old news at this point. And we never really got a chance to talk about Forza 5 coming to PlayStation yet. So I kind of want to get your guys's... do we have a release date for that? Do we know when it's coming?
I don't know it.
It's just spring.
PS5 release date says PS5.
You a Forza guy, Russell?
So I've played a bit of 4
Spring
and
2025.
5. So yes, no.
Yeah.
Why? Are you or?
I was just wondering. It doesn't seem to be something that you would like.
So of all of the car games at this point in my life, like way back on the 64, I played Cruis'n USA, which with a bunch of my friends. But Forza is so I'm not. I have Forza Motorsport 7, and I played like Gran Turismo 2 and 3 back in the day. I would say the Horizon series is probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from maybe Mario Kart, but put that into a different fucking category, obviously. Just because like the racing sims, that's too much for me. I don't want to turn a racing game into an RPG. I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
That I will save that for Fallout and Kingdom Come and all of that shit. So as far as thoughts on this go, so depending on what era of Xbox you are from, this is the first of the big 3 or the big 4. I say era because depending on when you started, you may include Fable in that conversation. I do, personally, but I started on the original Xbox. If you started in the Xbox One era, then you're probably like, Fable who? But yeah, this is the first of the big 3 or the big 4. I know Phil said a while ago, a few weeks ago, whatever, like nothing's off the table, but like if you need a sign that nothing's off of the table as far as like going to PlayStation, this is it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I don't think I would expect, your Starfields, your Halos, I would expect all of that. I don't know when. I know Halo's been rumored. There's a lot of weird and somewhat stupid rumors about Halo and PlayStation right now. We won't get into that, but yeah, I think if you're a PlayStation fan, I would recommend it. This is going to sound really horrible and trolly. I actually look forward to when Halo Infinite ends up on PlayStation. Because then I have a bunch of new people to snipe. That'll be fun. But
Yeah, Steve's gonna love that too. He's yeah.
Yeah, I think if you need a sign that all the big ones are coming, I mean, this is it. Maybe as far as Xbox goes, timed exclusives versus, when they launch. Who knows how they're gonna do that? But yeah, that's what about you, Fraser? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I haven't really played. I'm not into car racing games, all right? It's just not my jam. Gran Turismo 2 was probably the last one that I really, really got into. When I bought the steering wheel for Farming Simulator, I thought, fuck it, I've got a steering wheel. Let's try Forza. I'm hooked, man. It's great. I find myself signing in every week to take a look at what new cars are available for the challenges and the season stuff, and like I'm getting through it. I've completed the Rally DLC. I'm 3/4 of the way through the Hot Wheels DLC. Like I am really, really enjoying Forza 5. And I will say that I will be day one Forza 6 whenever that comes out. Um, I think that this is a huge hole in the PlayStation market of multiplayer racing. Their racing games are what Gran Turismo, which comes out every fucking 10 years. Like we're like you don't think of PlayStation for racing. Like PlayStation have got double the consoles that Xbox have. Even if half of those people play this game, like it's going to make Forza 6 even bigger. And you know how we all like none of us really care about these console wars. Like who cares?
Nah.
I just want to play a cool fun game. And at the moment, I got an Xbox and I'll probably buy the next Xbox. But it doesn't matter. I've got zero care. I just want people to have fun and play games, and I think that Forza is a really, really fun game. And I love the little meme saying like, "Oh, at least PlayStation will now have a great Horizon game."
Yeah, I fuck with those.
Damn, damn.
But no, I'm all for it. I think it's cool. More people that play games, the better. Just makes the industry
Absolutely.
stronger.
Absolutely.
I do think this kind of adds to the conversation of why buy an Xbox. But I mean that's maybe a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not even qualified to be part of that conversation anymore. I mean, as I sit with like a PlayStation Vita behind me and a PlayStation 3 that I can see there, so maybe I'm even more qualified to talk about it than most people. But yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think it's great that more people can play the games.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and I look forward to sniping some people in Halo eventually.
Absolutely. I'm with both of you guys. And, that's kind of my thing too, Russell, is bring Halo. I will preach always and forever. Bring Halo to PlayStation. I really hope that what ends up happening is that Forza Horizon 5 comes to the PlayStation and they see a revival in the series and it hits the top of the sales chart and all this stuff. And they're like, why aren't we doing this with Halo? Why aren't we doing this with Gears of War? I think that seeing a Gears of War collection on the PlayStation 5 come time for the Xbox showcase, I don't think that's out of the question. I think it would be, especially with Gears of War E-Day coming out soon, or either probably not this year, but the following year. I don't think it's out of the question to be like, hey, give PlayStation players a chance to catch up and get caught up on the series and what it's about. And then whenever Gears of War E-Day comes in, now you got some excitement there. It is the thing. And also, I feel like it kind of answers the question of how do you stop your own games from cannibalizing their own sales? We've heard Phil Spencer talk about that before in the past as to, well, Game Pass, we are aware that it cannibalizes the sales of our games. And I feel like releasing them on Xbox the same day, on PlayStation the same time as Xbox, is going to help solve that issue of cannibalizing sales. Which, we haven't really heard much as to if that's become enough of a prevalent issue for them to be like, okay, well, we can't keep doing Game Pass. But it's definitely going to prevent that ever becoming a question as to will Game Pass shut down. So, not that we're anywhere near that, but I could see us getting to that point if they keep going down the road they're going, where it's just Game Pass.
I don't think so, man.
You don't
I don't
think so?
that's right at all. No, I think that it is an unstoppable juggernaut. That they, it's like companies, like for instance, like it costs the company less to buy their own products than it does to buy someone else's products, right? So it won't cost them as much to put something on Game Pass as it costs them to put it out to the public, to put it out to PlayStation, to put it out to this. So they will essentially be like maybe saving money, putting it on Game Pass. They're getting that subscription from 30, say, I think it's like 25 million or something. 25 million subscribers for Game Pass. If it was to come out as a purchase, maybe 5 million of those people might do it. But if they're getting a percent, like 25 million people are paying for this game, whether they play it or not. Like it just seems like easy money for them. Like just put it on Game Pass, especially if it's an Xbox published or developed thing. I think that like I don't think it's ever going to stop. I think it's only going to get bigger.
I love to hear that. I think you're right. Sorry, go ahead, Russell.
Before we move on, I want to make one prediction, and I don't think this is a very bold prediction. Some might disagree with me. Of all of the games, so we're gonna exclude day and date stuff, so things like Doom, because we don't really know for sure when this is coming out. I do think of all of the games to go to PlayStation, and this includes Indiana Jones, I think this one, as far as the stuff that Xbox is bringing to PlayStation, will probably sell the best so far. I don't think that's a very bold.
No, you think it'll do better than Sea of Thieves? Because that did.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. That's kind of why I make the prediction of like, oh yeah, no, this is going to hit the tops of the sales chart.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Forza specifically, the question I have for you guys, because I've been dabbling around with it a little bit this week, kind of as a palate cleanser. Forza Motorsport 7. How do you guys feel about that? Like, have you guys got into it at all? How do you feel about it compared to Horizon?
I'm like Russell.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say I have 7 and I played around with it a little bit. I have a fuck. Do I have? I sold my Xbox. I don't know if I kept my physical copy of that or not. Nope, I did. I'm staring at it right now.
Oh, nice.
Maybe it'll be. They delisted it on the store, so like I'm not saying it's gonna be worth anything, but yeah, I actually kept my original Xbox and Xbox 360 collection and kind of accidentally kept some Xbox One games that I have no way to play now. But I still have an Xbox 360, so I haven't completely abandoned Xbox. But the motorsport games are just too much for me, as far as like the upgrading your wheels and your engine and your exhaust. I don't want to do any of that crap.
I'm exactly the same. I just want to put some fucking sick flames on it and race.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like the more I've been playing Horizon, I started with it on easy, started with a lot of the kind of accessibility stuff like turned on, and slowly but surely I've been turning all the stuff off. I'm now up to like, can't remember what difficulty is. I think it's like advanced racer or something. I've got all like the braking stuff turned off, and like it's really cool to kind of move. It's like semi arcade, semi not. There's so many options to choose to like turn on and off. You can fucking have the whole game drive for you. You can just hold down go, and it steers and brakes and changes gears, and it does everything automatically. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, motorsport, I have not even ever touched a motorsport. It's not my jam.
See, I actually am the other way around. I've been playing Forza Motorsport since Forza Motorsport 2, way back on the 360. Yep. So for me, every time I open up one, I'm just like, okay, this is the real Forza experience. No, I'm not. That's not a dig at Horizon in any way, shape, or form. Don't get me wrong. I love Horizon. But no, I am very much... The reason I've even been digging into it at all is for the simple fact of I want to open up a racing game and I want to immediately be in a race, get it done real quick, and then go to bed. or I want to just quickly squeeze in a race in between whatever I'm doing and then move on. And with Horizon, I tried to treat it that way, but it was that thing of, okay, well, now you got to travel to the location of where you're going to do the race. And I would get stuck in this loop of, I opened up Forza Horizon and now I am overwhelmed by all the icons of all the things that I can do or want to do. So then I end up just not doing anything of substance.
Like an Assassin's Creed map.
Yeah,
you just open it up and you're like, what the fuck is all this?
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen to me. I'm just like, man, I there's so much, I don't even know what to do, and then I'd find myself playing for 15 minutes, and the oh, you want your purse? I would just kind of not really be sorry, my brain went off the tracks there. But anyways, yeah, so that was kind of my main issue with Horizon. But whenever I would sit down to play more than an hour, I would much rather hop into Horizon. It is that thing of, like you guys are saying, I don't want to constantly be dealing with this. With Motorsport 7 specifically, you have, if you're playing the campaign and you're playing those stories, you have to use a specific set of cars, and there are very few you can choose from. And that's kind of been my main issue with it thus far. I'm like, I don't want to be driving this car. And then once I actually get into a race, it's 5 laps. And I've got to do 5 races. And at the end of the day, that's almost like an hour or 2 hours of game time that I'm being forced to drive this specific car. And if I want to do a different car, I'm going to have to spend my own money on it, which it's not exactly easy to get money in. So that's kind of been my main issue with Forza Motorsport 7. I do, however, love... See, I'm not much of a racing game player like you are, Fraser. So, like, when it comes to a game like Forza Motorsport, I actually feel like it challenges me to be in it and really think about my next move and really think about how I'm driving. Forza Horizon, like you said, it like takes care of all those little things you don't need to think of. So then it is just more arcadey. I hopped in, I'm simply driving. So there is a huge difference between the two. And yeah, I think it just all depends on your taste and what you're into. But yeah, I've been curious about that. I've been excited to ask you about that because a lot of our chat and Gamer Social Club talks about Forza Horizon, but we never talk about motorsports, so I was curious. Let's go ahead and get into Metal Gear Solid. The release date got announced this month. Well, it didn't get announced. It got leaked and again, you all know we don't talk about leaks, so we don't talk about rumors. However, we had a whole discussion on if we were going to even report on it. And we decided to go ahead and report on it because the source is PlayStation themselves. So, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Remake is coming August 28th. How you guys, what's the vibe check?
I think it's so weird. Like, I love Metal Gear Solid. I think it's such a brilliant franchise. But for whatever reason, I don't really feel anything for this. I think maybe closer to the time. Yep. I'll jump in, but but I put in a good 150 hours into Phantom Pain last year. I scratched the surface.
I remember that, yeah.
And I'm kind of burnt out from Metal Gear Solid at the moment. So maybe by August, I'll be back into it. I had a look at they've just announced the kind of like the special edition here in Australia, and it's cool. It's expensive. It's very expensive for what it is. So, like, I don't know. I want to be hyped for it, but I'm just not.
And what about you, Russell?
I don't care. I've never. I mean, I hate to be that guy. I've just never given a shit about the series. So I have a limited experience with them. There is a collection on my PlayStation Vita, I think it's just 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember right. And I've tried one of them, and I couldn't get into the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as what Konami may or may not be producing, again, there are rumors about remakes of Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 3. We know Silent Hill F is coming. That's been announced. So I'm just like, as far as Konami goes, I have other priorities.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know. I just don't care.
Depending on the August slate of what's coming out in August and September, I think that's gonna kind of be the deciding factor for me. I've never played a Metal Gear Solid except for 5, so I was very lost. I don't know what the fuck happened in that story. So I would kind of like to have a better understanding for the franchise and understand why it's so beloved. And from my understanding, Metal Gear Solid 3 is going to be a great entry point for people. So I think it'd be a really fun game to stream and be like, hey, this is my first time jumping into the Metal Gear franchise. Well, I don't know if I can honestly say that since I played 5. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to definitely check it out, but will it take priority is the question for me. So I think we're kind of...
Nathan, you brought up like what may be released around it. I wonder if the reason this hasn't been announced yet is because of GTA.
Well, I mean, that's a good point.
Because Rockstar is still holding strong that fall of this year it's coming out, which lands right in that fucking. So I'm actually a little annoyed because, as you guys know, there's several things I am looking forward to. Dano's even messaged me once or twice that, like, hey, your name's not on the board for like any of the upcoming releases as far as stuff that you want to. And I know he kind of wants to get me into something because I am the guy that, like, hey, that game's coming out in 3 months, so I'll just keep reporting on whatever the hell comes out about it. So I know that's one of the reasons that he wants me on the board. But most of the stuff that I've been looking forward to, sans Kingdom Come Deliverance, doesn't have release dates.
Yeah.
Reanimal doesn't have a release date. Little Nightmares 3 doesn't have a release date. Those are 2 things that I can think of off the top of my head.
Mouse PI.
I know there's Mouse PI. As far as I know, I don't think has a release date yet.
Nope.
And I think we've got someone else reviewing that anyway, if I'm not mistaken.
I think there's like 2 or 3 of us on the board for that game.
I removed my name from that. You guys can have it. Yeah. I'm excited about it, and I'll play it. It looks fucking cool, but I'm not.
Karma the Dark World, that doesn't have a date yet. My name's basically attached to that at this point. I'm reviewing that. I'm fairly certain of. But anyway, I don't think anyone on the website's written anything else about that game except me. So anyway,
I have. I'm pretty sure I wrote something on it.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm. Or Mouse PI?
No.
Oh, Karma.
The Dark World.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
Yeah.
That game looks amazing, but no, I'm sorry, I didn't write anything.
Yeah, I have not heard that I'm reviewing it. I'm in the marketing materials on Steam now. So
I saw that. It looks good job.
Yeah, with GTA, I know I'm going off on a tangent here. I wish GTA's release date or even release month would get announced.
Yeah.
So people can be like, okay, because like GTA is it doesn't matter what kind of game you're dropping, it's going to affect any and everything. A 5-hour indie still better not release like 3 weeks before or after that game. I wish the thing would just anyway
come out. Just tell us when it's coming out, because literally everybody is scared of it. Everybody. There's not a single person that's kind of waiting to hear on it. The which kind of goes into our next topic, Battlefield. They've even, I think there was even a statement about like, they've got a pretty large release window on when the next Battlefield might come. Now, we've covered 2 different articles on Gamer Social Club about this week, if none of you have seen that yet. The first one being that they were talking about Battlefield Labs, and then the second one being that we have a release window for it. Now, the release window for the next Battlefield game, they're saying that it is going to get released sometime before March 2026, or it's either that or April. Kind of talking out of my ass here on that one. But that is coming soon, and I can only imagine that they are trying to stay out of the way of that. They are trying to stay out of the way of Call of Duty so that they can actually have a spotlight on it. I am really, really, really hoping that means, okay, come out on February of 2026 when not much else is coming out. There's not any other huge multiplayer games of note that are going to be dropping in that month, or not usually. I mean, we don't know anything about 2026 yet. So I'm really hoping that we get the next Battlefield then. Now, the cool news that has come out about Battlefield this week is that there are 4 studios working on this. Did you know about this? Either of you?
Yeah, it's wild.
They've got DICE, of course. They've got Motive, Ripple Effect, and what's the name of Criterion. Now, Criterion, they have worked on like some of the Need for Speeds and Burnout games, and they have come out and said this week that they're going to be going back to the racing franchise when they're done working on
love a new Burnout.
Yeah,
wow, a new Burnout will be sick.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I think that's stuff weird. Is like whenever I listen to podcasts, I hear a lot of people talking about how like they're scared EA is going to become the new the new Call of Duty where every developer at EA is going to be a contributor of Battlefield. And I don't think that's going to be the case, especially when they're sitting there clarifying that it's not, especially for Criterion. I don't know what Ripple Effect has necessarily worked on. They're kind of more of a supportive team. But then you got Motive, which Motive is an amazing developer who did the Dead Space remake. And they're going to be working on the multiplayer maps and single player mission content. So that confirms that the next Battlefield will have a single player, which already has me sold and hyped for.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
care.
Exciting.
If you charge me $70, it will be worth it to get to play the campaign, in my eyes. And then, of course, DICE is going to be responsible for like most of the main stuff. They're going to be the heart and soul of this experience. Now, if you don't know what Battlefield Labs is, Battlefield Labs opened up playtesting this week, and there are limited spots. I don't know if there's any left. Sorry, excuse me. I don't know if there's any spots left, but you can still try to go and sign up to be a part of the beta. But basically it's, you contribute to trying to help build the game. That's what they're advertising, is that if you get in on Battlefield Labs, they want your feedback. They want you to play test the game, and kind of help give feedback on how the classes should be structured. What are some good ways to help make you feel like you have more control over your class abilities, things of that nature. Feedback on maps and vehicles. So that's what Battlefield Labs is. I don't know if I'm personally in it yet. I tried to join the queue when this was announced, I think Monday morning or Tuesday morning. And 48 hours later, I got in. And I got the email sent. I'm not in. Nice. I got the email sent. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. So now that you guys have all the info on the latest Battlefield, there's also a little bit of pre-alpha gameplay footage if you guys want to go check that out. Fraser, I know you said that it's been a hot minute since you've even touched the Battlefield franchise, but what are your thoughts and feelings on this?
So I'm like, I've always loved the Battlefield campaigns. I've always loved them. Just the destruction, the destructible environment, the massive open scale stuff. I think the last Battlefield I played might have been 4. I got into that police one, Hardline. I played that.
Oh, it's so
a
good,
bit.
isn't it? So fucking
Yeah.
underrated.
Yeah, I played that quite a bit. Then I moved on to Battlefield 4. I'm not someone who likes like historical war games. I love historical war stuff, but like it's kind of boring. I don't like World War II stuff. I don't like World War One stuff. I'm a modern. I like my shooters to be modern.
Same.
So
Same.
like Battlefield 1, Call of Duty World War 2, like I just didn't. And then when the new one came out, the idea of the storms and all the stuff, it looked fucking sick. But I got it again. So I had my I bought the Series X a while back, and my mate still hasn't upgraded from the one. So we can't play together, which seems so stupid. So he was it what's it called? Battlefield 2046?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about
Yeah, I think-
2049, 26, 7.
So he's got that just on one Xbox One, and I've got it on Series X, and we cannot play together.
Oh, I didn't
So-
know that wasn't crossplay. That's crazy. Especially for
So
a
I
full price
kind of-
game that's focused on multiplayer. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I played it a bit, but not really. Like I said, I've really been trying to limit my kind of like live service, full on multiplayer. I'm so time poor at the moment that like and they grab me, which is also the problem. Like, oh fuck, I've spent all day playing this. I need to I've got stuff that I need to be doing. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll play the campaign. Probably won't touch the multiplayer.
Now,
I haven't signed up for the battle labs. I haven't done any of that. It doesn't interest me.
the 2049, I got into it a little bit. I think this time last year, I actually played it a little bit. It's good now. I enjoyed my time with it. Now I played the beta and I was just on it, and then I wasn't going to pay $70 for the brand new multiplayer only game. So once it came to Game Pass and that was out, I had a lot of fun. There's a lot of community made stuff that was honestly the best part of the game. And you can also do against computer players. So what people would do is they'd make lobbies where it'd be like 64 people, 100 people, and you just sit there and grind kills. So I leveled
It's
up
fun.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
It is. It was fun. It was basically horde mode, like player made horde mode.
Love it. Love it.
Now, and the battle stuff was pretty cool too. The season pass stuff. I mean, but Russell, what's your history with Battlefield? Are you excited for this at all?
I think you're muted, mate.
Can you hear? Wait, did you hear anything I said? Did anybody hear anything I said?
No, I heard.
I
no.
couldn't hear you.
There we go,
Okay.
Russ. There we go.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear Russell talk.
So well, that might be because there was a lot of ums there.
Oh.
So I don't think I've ever played a Battlefield game. Ever. So,
Oh my gosh.
no?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Some of the earlier campaign ones are fucking cool. Like some of them are great.
I was looking while you were talking, Fraser. I looked on Steam and I looked on the Xbox app, and I cannot find any evidence of me ever playing it.
Love
Listen,
it. I love it.
How old are they even? Like,
Oh,
when did they?
90s.
Is it something? Is this something? Okay, so this is something I could have conceivably ran across on like
Yes.
Yeah.
PS2 or original
Yes.
Xbox or something.
Well, on PC.
I
On PC, like the
Oh,
original
then definitely not.
Battlefield series.
Then
Yeah,
definitely
it
not.
was on PC. I
It was
remember being a kid and
1972 or something, I think it was called.
yes.
I had a friend who was really into it, and you could like
Yes.
spawn in all the tanks and just
Yep.
fucking tank each other. It's great.
Yep, that was like the first PC game. Well, aside from RuneScape, that was the first PC game I ever played. It was a lot of fun. And dude, here's the thing about Battlefield, Russell. Like, if I don't sell you on it by telling you what I'm about to tell you, then it's just simply not for you. I've been thinking about this a lot this week, just because the announcement and the fact that I'm like, oh my gosh, this time next year I could be playing the new Battlefield game. It's had me extremely hyped because here's the thing: is like I remember with Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2, it was that thing of, oh, you can destroy buildings. If somebody's planting a bomb in building B, you can be like, all right, I'm going to blow that shit up. And it's just not going to exist. And you can't even have the option to take that. I remember that just being mind-blowing. That was revolutionary in the games world. Like, the fact that you could just blow up the building. And there was, like, two ways of taking out a bomb. That was either actually blow it up or, set a charge. So there's lots of different ways you can handle things. Hopping in a tank and blowing up buildings. And I think 2049 was a great way of showcasing what Battlefield is. I just don't think it was good enough for the time period that it was in. But yeah, I mean, they showed off like, hey, you can take out entire skyscrapers in this game. There are tornadoes that come through that you need to take cover from. But the thing that I would love to say to, hey, Battlefield 3, there you go.
Nice.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Because that was the game I was getting ready to bring up was Battlefield 3. That was, no, maybe it was Battlefield 4 that I played on Xbox One. But either way, no. I'm sorry. I'm thinking out loud. No, Battlefield 3 was the game that I had this experience with. That was the game I played the most out of the series. I played it on Xbox with all my friends, and the thing is for a multiplayer game, typically you got to have friends to have fun in it. With 3, I remember having equal amounts of fun by myself playing this game. You get experiences out of Battlefield that you simply do not in any other first-person shooter game, period. I firmly stand by that because this is probably a topic in and of itself. But like, do you ever have a video game where you're playing it and it's just so fucking good that it becomes a core memory for you?
I'm sure there are. I can't think of anything off the top of my head,
Well,
but I'm sure there are.
See, that's the way it was with Battlefield 3 for me. I have a core memory. Like, when I think of Battlefield, I always think of this moment where I went down to my room and I was like, I'm just going to play a couple matches of Battlefield today. And nobody was online, so I played by myself. And I started out in a tank. Now, if you haven't played Battlefield matches, if you play Conquest or anything other than Team Deathmatch, they can last for 30 minutes or even an hour sometimes. And I started off the match in a tank. And I can't remember what class I started out. I think I was an engineer. So I start out in the tank. Me and this random dude, we're just popping off. We're getting a whole bunch of kills. Tank blows up. I hop out of the tank and I run off. And now I'm taking fire from across the map. I'm prone. I'm just trying to survive. I'm getting across the map. And I make my way to be able to switch my loadout. I switch my loadout. Now I'm a sniper class. And then I work my way up this construction tower. I'm on top of the tower sniping away. And then from that point, I'm trying to pop achievements. So at one point, I see this helicopter pass by. And I'm like, I'm going to try and hijack it. And I jump off the building, hijack the helicopter midair. And I popped the achievement. I was so pumped about it. I hijacked the helicopter. Popped off more kills from the helicopter. That blows up. I parachute out of the helicopter, go switch out my loadout again, find an assault class. I keep surviving through the assault class, and I'm just at this point I'm just in survival mode. I did not die a single time in the entire game. I like ended up lose. I think I got like 30 some kills and 0 deaths, and I just like remember finishing that match and being like, in the time frame of that one match, I think I just about drove every vehicle there is, didn't die a single time, and it just felt like this raw military experience. It was just so fucking cool, and that just stuck with me, that I got that kind of experience out of a game by myself, not with my friends, but just by myself by playing a single Battlefield match. And no other game has yet to do that for me. So I am really, really stoked for Battlefield. And I hope you guys will play it with me when it comes out.
Yeah, if I'll say this to you, if it's on Game Pass,
Yeah.
I will play it with you. But I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
Not after the rigmarole of 20, 40, 30 million, whatever that game is. Not after the rigmarole of that. Oh, in saying that though, if it's got campaign, I might.
Yeah. I mean, we have yet to really even see it to know if it's something worth being sold on. So, yeah, I understand. That's a fair and valid point. Do you think that, before we move on from this topic, do you guys think that it will go free to play?
No, I don't.
I mean, it's EA. I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah. It's a good
Also, I do want to say there's something called Battlefield 2 Modern Combat that was on PS2. This cover looks familiar.
Really?
So
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I may have.
Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. Let's see. Let me pull it up for everybody watching.
Wasn't Battlefield? Didn't they do Bad Company as well?
Yes.
Wasn't that But that was something separate to Battlefield, wasn't it? It was like a spin-off.
I recognize this. I'm gonna try to over. Yeah, that's what the cover looks like.
From somewhere.
Yeah, I recognize that cover too. I actually don't think I played that one. When it comes to playing it on consoles, I think I started out with Bad Company. Battlefield Bad Company, because that was the game that was
what
like,
I did. Yeah,
you can blow up buildings and grab a grenade launcher. Yeah. Well, I think that about sums up our Battlefield talk. Let's go ahead and finish off our podcast with the conversation of when do you call it quits on a game? How much time do you give a game before being like, this is not for me? I don't like this experience, and I wish it was. Fraser, do you want to start us off, or do you guys need some more time to think on the question? Because I've already got mine locked and loaded and ready to go.
Oh, you go, man. You do it.
Yeah, no, for me, the reason this even came up to begin with was because I hit up the chat, and it was actually Steve who asked me the question, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. But Indiana Jones, I started it this past weekend or Monday or something like that, and I played it for like, I'm wanting to say 3 or 4 hours, and I'm just not vibing with it. I'm not vibing with the gameplay loop of it, and I think I want to give it more time before I delete it off my console. But I'm not vibing with the gameplay loop of it. It's not a bad game. I have no issues with it. It's not anything that the game is doing wrong. I just don't think it's for me, simply. I'm not in love with the stealth of it. I'm not in love with the puzzles of it. I'm just not vibing with it. That's all it is. I wouldn't sit here and not recommend it to somebody, though. So now I feel like this has changed for me over the years as to how much time I'll give a game. It's had me thinking about my time with the Xbox 360 and how I would walk into a GameStop and it would genuinely be hard for me to find a game that I had not played yet. And nowadays, it is quite the opposite, where I'm having troubles keeping up. I definitely have not played all games. There are some games that got hit to the backlog and never recovered. And so I found myself being more picky the older I get and more choosy about how I spend my time with video games. And so I definitely give it a lot less time than I used to. I feel like back when I was in college or, in my early 20s, I wouldn't even give a shit if I wasn't loving it. I would still finish it. I would still finish it before I gave my thoughts on it or talked about it with my friends. Very few times did I ever drop a game. Now I drop them all the time. It's impossible. Like I'm a married man with a full-time job, 2 kids. You're gonna have to start being like no to some games
Yeah,
too. So
definitely.
I find myself definitely doing it a lot more often, but Indiana Jones is definitely the most recent one in mind. And Dragon Age, the Veilguard. That was the other one I had locked and ready to go. I put 35 hours, 40 hours, and I was working on getting everything in the game. So while it may sound like I was 3/4 of the way through the game, because most people finished it at 55 hours, I definitely was not. I think maybe I hit the halfway point in the game, and at that point I was like, no, I'm not vibing with this game. I have put 35 to 40 hours into this game. I still don't care about these characters. I still don't care about this story. If I drop this right now, I don't even think I'd really have this like emptiness inside of my heart that like, oh yeah, I never figured out what happened. And I think there's still a part of me that's curious. People are like, oh yeah, the ending makes up for the whole game and the ending is so good. I can't bring myself to care enough to get there.
No.
I've already put
Not
that
gonna
much
sit
time.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit around just for the ending.
Yes.
Like, oh, it gets better after 20 hours.
Yeah.
That's 20
That's
hours.
still 20 hours.
That is
Absolutely.
so much time to kind of get to the point where it's like, oh, this is fun now.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And it also makes me think of the TV show argument as well. Like, a lot of people like watch Dexter. People are like, the first season sucks, but make it through the first season. That is 10 hours of your time. That is 10 hours. That's 10 episodes you're asking me to waste my life on an okay show, and then it starts getting good. Now, and then I find myself like, okay, you're right. This show picked up, and Dexter is like I love Dexter. So that's an example of I'm glad I stuck it out. Metaphor Refantasio. Listen, Candy X Bomb was on here for the Game of the Year show, and she had me really wanting to play the game. I almost picked it up during my Christmas break just because of how much she went on about it, and I'm like, oh man, like that's 160, 170 hour game. That is, you are dedicating yourself, and you hear that conversation. This conversation happen a lot in the world of anime shows, where people are like, "Oh yeah, like no, the first 2 seasons are ass, but the 3rd season's the best thing in television." And it's like I'm sorry, I cannot dedicate that kind of time to a shit show, just to get to some good.
I've just become so much more picky now.
Yeah,
like say, Metaphor, right? There's been a lot of people in my little group that love it and that rave about it. I know that I will not enjoy it, so I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother. You can enjoy it, you can love it. I'll experience it through you, and I'm happy with that. Another one that I just dropped recently was Citizen Sleeper. Yeah. So I started it. The idea of it's great. The story's enthralling. The gameplay loop's like very basic but works. the fact that there's no voice acted lines and I have to read everything, it's just not for me.
I understand.
I want to like it.
Yeah.
I really want to like it. So I put it down and I won't be playing the second one. Simple as that. I've just finished reviewing Ambulance Simulator, Paramedic Simulator.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, super weird. As a reviewer, like we have to remove our personal feelings from these things and we have to be subjective. Ambulance Life released, it's shit. It is the optimization is terrible. There's bugs, there's glitches. It's a mess. But I'm fucking loving it. Like I would highly rate it, and I'm having so much fun with it. But that's me. If Russell was to play it, fuck, he might hate it. Like, and you might drop it in 10 minutes. But like, so it's just so weird. Like, you know, I think if I bring out Ambulance Sim now, how much have I put into it? I've put 21 hours into Ambulance Simulator. And it is a horribly optimized mess. But I'm loving it and I won't drop it unless they do something terrible and it breaks the world. But like it just, yeah, it's just such a weird thing. But yeah, Citizen Sleeper, I dropped that in like 40 minutes. I knew that it wasn't for me. I'm very much someone who I get caught in this weird loop as well, where I'll finish a game. I liked it. It was fine. But now I want to go off and get all the collectibles. Why? Why am I doing this? I'm not enjoying it, but I'm doing it for some reason. It's just something that I've had to kind of move through as a gamer recently. It's like, it is okay to drop these things. It's okay to not like something. You can like some of it, but not all of it. You can push your way through the story and then be done with it. So,
I feel like Steve is really good about that. Like, whenever I see him pop up in the chat, he's always like, oh, yeah, I'm glad you all are having fun with that. Not for me.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so, and that was the same with, I just reviewed Stone of Madness.
Yeah.
Again, it's made by, who's it made by? Is it Game Kitchen? Like, I just reviewed it, I should know. Yeah, the Game Kitchen. They made Blasphemous. So, you know Blasphemous? It is. It's so hard. And it's so brutal. And what they've done is they've now made a tactical stealth prison escape game, which sounds incredible. And it is incredible. The idea of it is brilliant. You've got 5 inmates. Each of them have strengths and weaknesses. So you've got this big dude who is mute and he's illiterate. So he can't talk to anyone and he can't find clues, but he can break down doors. But on the flip side of it, he is terrified of the dark. So you've got 3 things that you have to keep an eye on. You've got your health, you've got your sanity, and then suspicion. So if you get caught doing an action, your suspicion meter goes up. And the guards are more aware of you. And then the sanity, if you're in the dark for too long, he fucking loses his mind and you can't use him. And then those fears and phobias transform into even bigger, more difficult things to work around. There's one lady who she can knock out guards with a plank, or she can kill them. But when she kills them, she cuts herself because she's taken a life, and she's like, oh, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
And that eventually evolves into something else. So you've got this group of people that you have to use to escape this prison. It's stealth, it's tactical. Every time you get caught, like you have to scavenge for resources. Every time you get caught, you lose your resources, you lose health, you lose stamina, you lose all this kind of stuff. But it all plays out in real time. There is no saving. There's no going back and trying it again. And the more you fail, the harder it gets.
Sheesh.
And it is ruthless. There was one particular room that I was stuck on for, I'm going to say, 3 hours.
And oh my gosh.
I got through it. But at some point, and I was playing it on easy, by the way, just throw that out there. I would have given up on this game because it's too hard.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I had to push through it. And it was a great experience. But again, bugs and glitches in something like this with such unforgiving mechanics are they just ruin it.
Yeah.
So I spent 2 hours trying to get this stuff together, got it all working, and then a guard gets stuck in a doorway. And I need to get through that doorway. So what do I need to do? I need to walk in, I need to get spotted, and then I lose, and then I have to try again.
Oh my gosh.
Like that, it's that kind of stuff that will put me off and turn me off a game so quickly now. Before I used to be like, whatever, it's fine. But now, like, bugs and glitches, that I don't know, man.
No tolerance for them.
No tolerance. Especially, like, we're paying for this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're paying money for it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing with Ambulance Simulator. It is poorly optimized. Yes. But it's playable and it's fun. The Stones of Madness was poorly optimized, leading to almost an unplayable experience.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, they were the same, they're the same price, 40, 45 AUD for each of them. Like devastating.
Yeah. I'd be extremely upset if I spent that much money on a game and it would play like that. And again, it's that thing of, like you said, as a reviewer, you got to be as objective as you can about the experience. And, you know, that is the thing is, yes, you got a review code, so it was free for you. So you can't sit there and be like, well, I had a great time. Anybody else is like, oh, I just dropped money on this and had like a horrible... time getting it to fucking work.
Yeah. So that's like going back to Ambulance Simulator. There's 3 separate areas of the city split up. Downtown, suburban, the other area. For whatever reason, no matter where you start, you're just in downtown. Doesn't matter. They just send you downtown, you spend your whole fucking time there. There's 40 different like accidents and emergencies that you can respond to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they're random.
Okay.
So it could be a gunshot, could be a house fire, could be someone having a allergic reaction to something. You don't know until you get there. I've had maybe 5, and they just repeat.
Really?
Over and over and over and over and over again.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That badly needs a patch.
Like, yeah, just like, and then like you've got the sirens on, the cars are supposed to part so you can drive through. They don't. Civilians just run out in front of your ambulance and it's game over if you hit them. But I'm having so much fun with it.
Yeah.
And like trying to figure out like, shit, I get it. Okay, what's happening to this guy? Oh, he's having an allergic reaction to peanuts. Shit, what do I do? I need to do this. I need to do that. And getting into the kind of that routine of like, oh, you monitor the oxygen, monitor their heart rate, put an oxygen mask on them. Do they need morphine? Do they need this? It's like the loop of it is really cool. It's just broken. And I'm okay with that. personally. I'll continue to play it because I'm having fun with it. But when it turns from I'm not having fun with it, I'm so okay now to just be done.
Yeah.
I am done, and I will never go back.
Yeah. I understand. I'm right there with you, man. The Russell, how do you have an example of a time you just gave up? Like, nah, this isn't for me, or like, when do you call it quits?
Oddly enough, kind of Indiana Jones recently, although that was smashed in between Stalker 2 and then me playing Witcher 3 over my winter break, the almost 2 weeks I had off from work. So like that's sort of different. I think I probably would have stuck with Indiana Jones a little bit longer. It didn't really click with me. So this has changed over the years, because when you asked this question, I was brought back to the NES days where like you just played whatever the hell you had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
that's
stuck
right.
with it.
Whether it was shit or not, right?
Deal with it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember getting through the first 1 or 2 levels of Bayou Billy, and then getting to a level that was first-person shooter stuff, and not knowing that you needed to use the light gun, because I mean, what NES game has you use the light gun like after the first level? Like that's just stupid. Like, but to be fair, my grandma picked it up at a garage sale, and so I didn't have a chance to read the manual. Maybe there's information about that in there somewhere. So there's that too. So like obviously back in the day as a child, like you're gonna get, you're gonna get whatever you get. So like you're gonna deal with shit maybe you wouldn't. Now, so my answer would have been different before I was a reviewer. Definitely because of Steam, you get 2 hours, because that's the time with. You can still get refunds in certain circumstances, but you can't like in the situation of Helldivers. I know that Steam was giving refunds out like candy because Sony screwed the pooch with that PSN shit. But used to be 2 hours. Now I'm a little more lenient. I mean, you have to be when you're reviewing games. But I mean, I have definitely reviewed some stinkers, as I'm sure we all have. Maybe I've been a little more harsh than some people that write for the website. But looking at you, Sophie the Echo.
That's a name we shall not speak.
But
Take
yeah,
that filth out of your mouth.
yeah, if it's just a game that I bought, then yeah, 2 hours. I will say you said an example. So there is one game that I gave way too much of a chance, and its name is Final Fantasy VII.
Oh no.
I finished almost that entire first disc, and I fucking hate that game. I've got the first the remake of the first game, Final Fantasy Remake Integrate or whatever, and I think I got like 3 or 4 hours into it, so I'm far past the point of refunding it, and I thought that game was boring. I think that the PC port for the second game is out, and I'm not buying that either. I'm not buying Final Fantasy 16. I'm done with that entire series. I've had friends try to convince me for years that the series is worth playing, and I've played far too many of it and wasted far too many hours, even attempting to like that. So we're done with that. But yeah, no Intel. I'm not gonna update my fucking drivers for my CPU right now. Anyway. But yeah, I guess those are my answers. If it's a game I bought, you get 2 hours because Steam.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. That's a good reason.
Harking to what Fraser said about like, oh, it takes a few hours to. So, I got, and you're gonna hate me for this, Fraser. Death Stranding.
Oh,
yeah. I got it for free. Let me open up Epic Games, and maybe it will tell me without having it downloaded how.
Yeah, I don't know if Epic Games does that.
I don't know my password.
Uh-oh.
Well, fuck off then.
Well, if you
I
haven't
want to
put
say,
200 hours into Death Stranding, you can fuck off.
yeah. So my name is not Fraser. I want to say I put in like 90 minutes or 2 hours, and I got the game for free. And then I don't remember who told me this, but someone mentioned, "Oh yeah, you got to give the game a good like 8 or 10 hours before it gets really good." And I'm like, "Well, fuck that! I'm not doing
Yeah.
that."
You
Yep.
see, that Death Stranding grabbed me in the opening minutes. So that's the, I guess that's that thing of like, if it doesn't grab you, it doesn't grab you.
Yeah.
And like he said, like 2 hours, that's enough time.
Yeah.
It's enough time. You don't read a book that you hate.
You can
You
watch an
you give
entire
it a
movie
couple
in
of
that time.
chapters and yeah, give it a couple of
Well,
chapters, then you're like, nah, I'm done. This sucks.
yeah, with the book, I thought that was either what the back or like the little preview section was for. But
Are the
anyway.
pictures in color or not?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, if it's black and white, I ain't fucking dealing with that. What is this, the 1920s, mate? I want my pictures in color.
Oh man, yeah, I remember going into Blockbuster. That's like the only way you can tell if you're gonna want to rent this game is just by looking at the pictures on the back and reading the back of the game. And yeah, thanks for that, Superman 64 and Mega Man. But yeah, when it comes to like Death Stranding, I'm in the same boat as you, Russell. It's that thing of whenever I go to actually start Death Stranding, I already know ahead of time this is a game that's going to take off slowly. I'm going to have to invest time into it. It's a spiritual adventure that I'll be going on and to kind of meditate while I play. So it's like I've got to go in there with a very specific mindset, which is why I haven't touched it yet. But it would be the exact same thing for a game like Metaphor, Refantasio.
Yeah.
Like I am going in with the expectation I'm going to be here for the next 160, 70 hours. If I could go back in time, I'm not even sure I would go back and play Baldur's Gate 3. Not because I didn't like it, not because I didn't like the story, but because of the combat and how much I didn't like the combat and how much time the combat took. Like if Baldur's Gate 4 comes out, I genuinely do not know if I'll play it just because of that. I had one specific day where I legitimately from 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. I was doing the exact same fight because it's like, well, before you realize you can't get through this fight or you're failing at this fight, you've already dedicated 45 minutes to it. So you might as well see it through and see if you can't try to survive your way, squeeze through it somehow. And then it's like, oh, yep, nope, you just wasted your time. I love how I start saying I wouldn't play the next shit. What was I just saying? I wouldn't play
Death Stranding, and then you fucking got it in your fantasy draft.
the next Baldur's Gate. My bad. The next Baldur's Gate, I wouldn't play it, and then all of a sudden our viewership shot up for a little bit, and then it shot back down.
No.
I'm like sitting here talking.
So like the thing with Death Stranding for me was like I'm very much someone who, if I see something, like I wonder if I can get there. I wonder how to get there. And then as you're going, I'm like, man, this walking mechanic's fucking weird. And then, like, it just, the way that it evolved and drip fed me new stuff was like the perfect pacing for me. Mm-hmm. But I can completely understand why it's walking. You're fucking walking. And that's it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just throwing steam under the...
Maybe.
Love it. Love it.
Well, did you guys... Let's go ahead and round it up. Round it up. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to kind of touch on a little bit before we close out?
Nah.
All
right.
right.
I'm good. Just come and join us. Come and join us in the Discord.
Yeah, please do.
Play some State of Decay 2. We're going to be playing Avowed in a couple of days as well. That should be a bit of fun.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a really good time. And also, if you've watched this far and you haven't heard the news, we've been doing our fantasy critic draft, and all the information is in the Discord. All of it. There is a YouTube summary video that I made up for you all on our YouTube page if you want to go check that out. We are giving away a brand new game of your choice to whoever bets on the winner. So the only way you can do that is in the Discord chat. Make sure to place your bet on who you think is going to come out on top at the end of the year. And yeah, you could win a free game along with the winner. So make sure you're doing that.
It's going to be me just throwing it out there. Because I'm actually in the future. It's Saturday morning for me now. So I already know that I'm going to win. So it's fine.
I think that's the way that works.
I already placed a bet on a game already that I'm hoping to get drafted.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice,
So
nice.
hopefully I actually get it because I forgot that it is definitely slated for 2025. So I don't know. I might want to vote on me. I'm just saying. But yeah, no, Fraser's already coming out with those points. So yeah, make sure to tune along. Next week, we're going to try to do a news episode again. Like I said, we couldn't get to it this week, but we're going to try to get to the news. Next Friday night, we're going to just be hanging out again. So please join us. We'll try to get out the whenever we do the news, I will update you on what the topic will be for next week's episode. So again, go check out the YCAV interview with Harry. So thank you all for joining. It's been good catching up with you, Russell and Fraser.
Should we do some quick plugs before we leave?
Plug
I think
away.
we should.
Plug them away.
Gamer, you got to come and get all your news and reviews from gamersocialclub.ca. We love that .ca.
Yep.
Never be anything else.
Yep.
Come and join the Discord. Link is below. Twitter or X, gamer_S_C. We're flying through the blue skies at Gamer Social Club. We're just having a good time.
Yep.
Enjoying. Loving
Absolutely.
life. Loving games. Can't complain.
Absolutely. With that being said, thank you all for joining us. Hold on. Check out that little, check out that background music. I made that just for you guys. I was sitting here the other night, just freaking going away. I'm a music producer now. You can check out my LinkedIn account that doesn't exist and hire me to make your jamming beats, your bopping beats.
Awesome tinnies and playing dragons.
That's right.
All day.
That's right. Get your beats.
All day.
All right. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Ciao.
All right. Where's my outro? Where's the outro, guys?
Let's play that fucking track.
Pull it out of your ass.
Damn it.
Clean it up.
Goodbye.